What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I decided to go ahead and revisit Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and I gotta say, throughout my play session of this game, I played it for a couple of days as well. It's actually a lot more enjoyable than I expected. Now, obviously, skill-based matchmaking is nothing compared to the more present COD. That's just pretty much how Call of Duty is nowadays. The present COD has the thickest skill-based matchmaking, or most of the sweats transfer over to the newest COD, whether it's to grind out new content, or they're trying to stream it, or, whatever it is. All the sweats move over. And then, I guess, a lot more casuals stay back. And I'm not saying it's the most casual experience ever. Yeah, there's still sweats here and there, and people who only play Cold War. But compared to Modern Warfare 2, current state right now, the skill-based matchmaking does feel way more toned back. But the skill-based matchmaking was not the reason why I enjoyed my experience with Cold War, and honestly, I'm not even going to go ahead and mention it within this video. I just want to specifically, honestly, give Treyarch a round of applause because they got a lot of crap throughout the Cold War life cycle, and rightfully so. I mean, you can't just release a game like, Cold War when it first launched at the state it was horrifying. The bugs, the glitches, the horrifying metas, the way that people could actually camp in a Treyarch game was kind of confusing that people were camping more than actually pushing. But fast forward to current date, with some more time to polish it off, obviously, since they came in near the end of the life cycle of this game when Sledgehammer got cut, I gotta say, I'm impressed with what they were actually able to put together. And yes, of course, at the launch of this game, the content was horrifying. There was no maps. The 6v6 maps that we got weren't even amazing. They were actually pretty rough, coming from Treyarch as well. So, it was harsh, but over the time, when more content was introduced into the game, as things got polished, Treyarch proved to us who they are again. And like I've been saying, I try to keep in mind every single time I think of Cold War, the crap that Treyarch had to go through in order to get this game to the state that it was. You have to think, Sledgehammer Games was on this project pretty much the whole life cycle. Treyarch came at the very end to save the day. They had to pretty much pick up all the scraps, all the crappy pieces, and put them together, glue the pieces of the puzzle, and get this game rightfully in shape. And when they have to do that, you can't expect the game to honestly launch in a good form. They are literally coming and trying to save a shipwreck. They're trying to patch it up and keep it afloat. So the launch, it was rough. But as time has gone on, they have proved to us what they are actually capable of. They do, as always, make fast-paced, arcadey Call of Duty games. Now, of course, if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know me personally, I enjoy Infinity Ward. I understand that they don't make as fast-paced titles, but I just enjoy the environment, the atmospheres that they always offer. I enjoy the nitty-gritty vibes. That's just what I like about Infinity Ward. But there will never be a day that goes by where I will not look at a Treyarch title. And keep in mind, I love Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 might be in, my top 3 favorites. World at War is a banger, BO2, one of the most popular Call of Duty games ever made. Treyarch makes fantastic games. But even though my bias is more Infinity Ward, like I said, there will never be a day that goes by where I will not think of how goated Treyarch as a development team truly are. The fact that they were able to patch up a game with the time that they were given compared to any other development team I've ever seen, I didn't even think it was possible. Something like this is technically, I would consider it a miracle. Yet and still, Treyarch was able to come through and just completely put together something that was actually playable, something that functioned. And it just makes me think every day that goes by, wow, through all the crap that Treyarch has been through, what's going to happen when this team actually gets a real development cycle, the full period of time where they don't have to save the day, they don't have to come work on someone else's project and turn it into their game, from the bottom, the ground, the foundation up, they make a game that is from their hearts. And that's exactly what's coming to us within the next Treyarch title. Hopefully, if this is still going on, Modern Warfare 2 is supposed to last for 2 years, which will give Treyarch the normal amount of time that they deserve to put together a game, especially since I had to, obviously jump right away on this project to save the day. And just for, this is a little off topic, but don't you think it's funny that Vanguard, a complete Modern Warfare 2019 copy, basically, with minor tweaks to, certain things that the community has complained about, but it's literally a copy and paste, just with more content. It's hilarious to me because that just proves even further that Sledgehammer was on Black Ops Cold War. Because Sledgehammer do make pretty unique games. Advanced Warfare and World War II had their own vibes. They weren't Infinity War. They weren't Treyarch. It was Sledgehammer. Vanguard feels like Modern Warfare 29. It feels like Infinity Ward made it, in my personal opinion. And it proves to me that, they were cut off this game and they were told, yo, Let Treyarch work on this. You guys go make a placeholder game for Modern Warfare 2. Infinity Ward, you guys focus and try to make a banger. Oh my goodness. But it's true. Treyarch really does make some of the fastest Call of Duty titles. Rightfully so. It's always been that way. Infinity Ward and Treyarch always had their differences. They made two different styles of games, and that's the most unique thing about Call of Duty is that it's one franchise, one title, but there's so many different communities out there in Call of Duty. People who just have completely different opinions, completely different perspectives, completely different ideas on what a Call of Duty game is. That's how large this community is now. But as I was saying, they always differentiated themselves. Infinity Ward titles were always a little bit more angle-based, more map awareness, more, trying to get the jump on your enemy. And Treyarch was like that as well in the beginning with World at War and Black Ops 1. But as Black Ops 2 approached and more future games like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, Treyarch really put a huge emphasis mostly on gun skill. It's all competitive. Whoever can shoot the best, whoever can move the best, usually technically wins the gunfights. And like I said, I respect both. And a lot of people who are tired of that slow-paced gameplay out of Modern Warfare 2, next game around, I think you guys are going to be happy again. Treyarch, for example, keeps the minimap. Treyarch, for example, knows that we enjoy movement. Treyarch, for example, understands that we don't want attachments to completely destroy our guns 24/7. We want them to be a little bit more active, which again took some time, but here we are, a lot more manageable, something that Modern Warfare 2019 never did, and I'm assuming with Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Ward will keep the same ego and not really touch too many aspects about the game. But Treyarch really does care about that. I want to say the player, the Call of Duty hardcore player. Like I say in my past videos, one of the best ways to really work on your franchise is to keep the core aspects that everybody loves, but improve upon the formula. Infinity Ward does the opposite, Back in the day, they were better, but now it's the complete opposite. They do not keep anything that we had from the past, and the way they improve on the formula is just mind-boggling. Treyarch, on the other hand, they keep the things that we love. They know what we want right out the gate. And then on top of that, they're going to try to twist some things around. For example, like how the streaks never ended upon death. Certain things that maybe not have been the best ideas. But at the end of the day, am I worrying about the perk system? No. Am I worrying about having to deal with not having people on the minimap and making them camp more? No. All those aspects that slow down the other COD games are not present within Treyarch titles. And I'm hoping that they keep that same style when they go into their next title. I hope they don't switch it up and try to change their flow. They've never done it in the past, but, at this point in time, I'm never surprised when it comes to Call of Duty. I really am not. Any game, honestly, at this point. People are getting ballsy. People are getting bold. And to see Treyarch do something like that would be pretty darn disappointing. But one last note I do want to mention is that even though I do believe Treyarch is going to go ahead and make an absolute banger, I really do think there's one thing that's holding it back because, like I said in the very beginning of this video, I know I said I wasn't going to mention it. I know I said it, and I was just going to specifically talk about Cold War. I guess we're past that point now because it's very crucial to me, in my personal opinion. The skill-based matchmaking within these games. Like I said, Black Ops Cold War is a night and day difference. So was a lot of these other games, these past games, besides maybe Modern Warfare 2019, there were some design decisions in that game that kind of threw me off a little bit. But Vanguard, Cold War, and Modern Warfare, 2, I really do think that they would have been more playable in certain aspects if the matchmaking wasn't tuned so high. Black Ops Cold War, since day one, it was the sweatiest game you could possibly imagine. And I think that really, combined with the very buggy form that it was day one, turned everybody off. Black Ops Cold War, even though it's a Treyarch title, got a lot of hate. It had a lot of problems. A lot of things went wrong. And like I said, I think matchmaking had to play probably one of the biggest roles. I remember during the Black Ops Cold War phase, pretty much all the COD content creators, we had weeks where we only talked about skill-based matchmaking. The topic truly blew up during that time period. And obviously, we didn't get any changes now. But like I said, that really does make a difference when it comes to Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a casual game, and people notice that, especially the OG fans. And when you hop on these games, when they're later in their life cycle, I feel like that's why we have the COD cycle right now. The new game sucks, but the previous one is, amazing. And then another COD game comes out, and then that one sucks, and the previous one is now amazing. The reason that is because all the sweat lords move on to the next title. So when you do hop on to the older titles, the matchmaking, it's still there, but it's not enough people to make it as competitive as they truthfully want it. And because of that, the game is more casual. It's what classic COD should be. A little mix of some sweats here and there, but ultimately you will get casual games where you can kick back and relax. So I have to be real, even if Treyarch nails their next game, do I have the confidence that they will be able to, make the game so good that it completely overshadows skill-based matchmaking? I don't think that's possible. I really do think no matter how good Treyarch can produce a game, skill-based matchmaking is going to hold it down along with the rest of the titles as well. Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer Games, I don't care who comes in to make a game. It could be the best developer known to mankind. As long as matchmaking is as thick as it is, then it is what it is at that point. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bombs, I hate it. Leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this too, we do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.